Entire league, our coaches in our league, and our players that go on to have so much success. This is the league that these guys have, that are in our uniform. That they either always wanted to be at Auburn, they wanted to be in the SEC, and they wanted to play us highest level of competition. And this starts the journey for 2016. And you got a, top 2 or 3 team in America, not only a team in your league, but that'll be a consistent theme often because how well our league. I think all 14 teams in our league now, with us winning Tuesday night, have a winning record, and that's pretty strong from a conference from top to bottom to have. So we're excited about this, and our job is to kind of continue to continue our growth with the conference season starting.
How much different do you feel, or you think the players feel today than they did a week ago after you had played Georgia Tech?
Yeah, we're all human. I would say more confident. I think last week in our little spell down in Pensacola, and then playing Georgia Tech on that Tuesday, and we're all human. So I just knew that we were not playing, the style of baseball to the level that we could play, especially offensively. And we had the 2 good days of work, basically practice on that Wednesday, Thursday, heading into Oral Roberts weekend, and got back to some basic stuff. But that's how quick it can turn around. This age group is resilient. Sometimes you can get on a bus and a coach, you wear it all the way home. So I wear it all the way home in my thought process of what do I do next as a coach to get us going. And once they get a little bite to eat and they get on the bus, they're right back to being 18, 19, 20 years old again. And I kind of can take a lesson from them. They kind of get over a win or a loss pretty quick. Sometimes it's the adults that have the problem moving on. But that's how resilient they are, and they've bounced back, had a good week. And I just want to continue whatever happens in this first weekend against A&M. Whether you win a game, whether you lose a game, or whatever happens in between, I don't want anybody to take the identity and the steps we're taking to continue to build our program to be an elite team in our league. That's the goal. And whatever happens going through this process of starting SEC play with 39 games left in our season, whatever happens, as long as our identity is not taken from us, and it shouldn't. That should be a choice that we make, and that's what I talked to the guys about today.
Butch, how much do you think the kids responded to your "I'm not going to panic"? I like the 9 guys in my lineup. I like what they're doing from a day-to-day basis. We just got to get hit to the ball. How much do you think the kids responded to that and just said, "Okay, yeah, our coaches got us. We're being supported here"?
Yeah. Still everything's week by week, and everything's still young with us. But I would say it's been pretty positive in the short term of getting a feel for them. I think they trust our coaching staff. I think we've built trust in a short period of time, and I don't think it's just me. I think it's our upperclassmen buying into it. I think it's Coach Sisson. I think it's Coach Dry. I think it's Coach Bohannon. I think it's everybody involved with the staff. If we can just get everybody on the same page and believing, then we can carry anything. The only thing in the last few days I tell a guy is if he looks down, I'm like, we're playing pretty good right now. Well, you need to be more, have feelings associated with the ball club than with yourself. And that's what we got to understand. We had a big synergy meeting this week of 1 + 1 = 3. And that's how we make our club better, is to build our best team and not get caught up in ourselves so much.
Going to stick with the same pitching rotation this weekend?
We are. The guys have thrown so many pitches that it's hard to move a guy or shorten a day, or you don't want to lengthen anybody. It's been pretty competitive. So I think we're lined up that way. Andrew Mitchell threw 100 pitches on Tuesday, and day 4 is usually a standard bullpen day. Saturday would be the 4th day, Sunday would be the 5th day. So we might wait till Sunday post-game to throw his bullpen, if we're lining him back up for Tuesday, because he might be able to help us on Sunday to win a series. That is one change now that you're heading in the SEC weekend, that all these games are the same, but these 30 games are pretty paramount to every, school. So if he has a chance to help us win a ball game on Sunday, we may trade that in for a Tuesday and then let the dust settle. So our season is not past this 3-game series, and that's where I want our guys' brain. That's where I want our pitchers, and whatever role, the kind of removal of pride and what can I do to help mentality is what we're looking for.
How many bridge guys, you get paid to answer this, how many bridge guys do you feel good about right now?
Well, the one that sticks out in my head is I believe in Ben Bramer. I thought with the extra inning loss and throwing 77 pitches is the largest pitch count he had, I didn't think he recovered very well. He had two tough outings, one against Georgia Tech here that was a difference in the ball game, and then the Oral Roberts on the Friday, which we couldn't quite overcome or get all the way back in the ball game. So, but I still think Ben Bramer has to be a piece for us to have success. So we've given him off Tuesday, so you didn't see him in Atlanta, and to try to get him freshened back up, give him a break. So I think for us to be the best ball club we can be, Ben Bramer has to be part of it. Mark Frazier, his last 6 innings, he threw 3 last Saturday, and he threw 3 Tuesday scoreless at Georgia Tech. That has to be confidence for him, and I think he's throwing the baseball better. He's throwing 2 pitches for a strike. And from a pitching coach standpoint, you think he's spinning the ball better, and there's better depth to his pitches. They're a little bit sharper, and the hitters are telling you that. We're seeing more swing and miss out of his stuff, and he's pounding the strike zone more. So I don't know how fresh Mark would be. It'd be nice to probably save him to a Saturday in this series, but Mark Frazier's made himself a contributor. We hadn't been at game time. We're still trying to figure out who would we close with in a ball game, and I don't think I can look you in the eye and tell you who that would be, in all honesty. I can maybe fudge on that and try to say a name, but that wouldn't be honest. Daniel Sprinkle's thrown a couple of innings that just looked like his 2 best innings of the year, finishing a couple of games, getting in some games late, but it hadn't been at quote-unquote game time. But we know he's a guy that's got to help us. So Bramer, Frazier, Sprinkle, maybe Andrew Mitchell on a Sunday. You can start seeing how we're trying to at least think about the pieces of what we're trying to put together.
Klobuchar still in the mix there too.
100%. Just omitted him. Just didn't think. I was trying to think who else is in there in my mind. But Gabe, the Sunday start, and he's moved, and he's kind of been up and down. I think we all have seen flashes of good sequences, and some sequences he kind of gets to the 2 strikes and not finishing the sequences. And you can either take a negative route, like I don't know how I like him in the bullpen, or I'm choosing to take the positive route that he's really close. If we can just figure out where to go with 2 strikes, that he could be another viable piece. And because Frazier's out, then he's maybe the next right-hander that would have to help us maybe even tomorrow night in the series. So I just omitted him, but Gabe's huge in that process of the bullpen.
What have you seen out of Texas A&M?
A lot through the years, and they got a lot of those guys back. I guess on paper, how do we even match up? I'm glad we don't play this game on paper. It's not paper football or anything. I think what Tuesday night showed us is we can go on the road, or we can play a great team, or we can do whatever. I hope that tells us that if we play the game of baseball and do what we're supposed to do, we should have a chance to beat anybody in the game of baseball. With that said, Coach Childress does a phenomenal job. They'll be athletic. So some of these things that may be hits or balls that get through there, they arrive on time with more range. I know it's what I've seen with their infielders and their outfielders in the past. They're hitting, I guess, 338, coming down from 341 from the other night. That leads our league in batting average. So I know offensively they're a strong ball club. And the one thing I would love to have a lead in the last 3 or 4 innings of a ball game, because when they get to their pieces in the bullpen, they got 3 pieces that they could probably call any of the 3 closers. That's the luxury it looks like they have above us, is that a proven bullpen and electric arms. So you're talking about 95 and, some guys running it on up close to the century mark. We'll have to take balls and swing at strikes if those guys get into the ball game, but we can have a chance. But I hope it's a great competitive series, and hopefully our schedule's prepared us to be ready to compete against them.